Hello everyone, welcome back to more AEW on TEW 2020. We are here on the second week of December, heading towards our final Dynamite of 2021, which will be a very big show. We start off with our episode of Dark as Kip Sabian defeats Hideki Okatani with a springboard dropkick. I'm probably not going to do any more of the BTE, I don't know, more matches then. We can get some actual storylines going. There is a change, but I will do that in the next segment. So after the match, Kip Sabian comes over to ringside and he grabs a comb from Penelope Ford and he starts combing his hair as Penelope Ford starts talking. She says, while our god, Garza Jr., is upset at Kip for failing to qualify for the ladder match, he's decided to give him another opportunity to prove himself. See, we're not just the hottest people in the world, not just the hottest people in wrestling, but we're also people that respect and need success. But above all else, we need to prove that we are still another level above everyone else. So consider this our crusade against all those ugly people in the world. Starting now, Kip Sabian will take out everyone who is ugly, without fail, all for the sake of our Rose God and the Rose Garden. So yeah, just Penelope Ford saying that Kip Sabian, he's going to start being a real asshole to people who are ugly. So just to kind of go through what I'm actually doing with the Rose Garden. People who are eligible to join the Rose Garden have to have 80 sex appeal. This one, I'm doing anyone who has the yellow for theirs, which I think is like 35 or lower, are the quote-unquote ugly people, except for one. There is one exception. But Kip Sabian, he has something to do now, even if it's only on Dark. Nyla Rose then defeats Sophia Wyndham very quickly. And afterwards, Nyla's in the ring, and she roars that no one in the company can match her because she's just so much of a physical force. Max the Impaler's music hits, and the Wastelander comes to the ring. To square off, Nyla barks at Max until eventually Nyla leaves, vowing to have this match next week. Max the Impaler, she is quite big. Again, just these two very physical women wrestlers. Again, yeah, that's really it. It's two very big physical wrestlers. Nyla Rose doing stuff. American Wolves then defeat Carlito and Fuego del Sol. Kana defeats Tesha Price. Daga defeats Colt Cabana. Daga is actually recognizable now. Shotzi Blackheart defeats Alexia Nicole. Alexander Hammerstone defeats Nobuhiro Shimatani. Diamante defeats Julia Hart. And then we go into another segment. It's a big run of matches. Commercial shown, narrated by Antonio Banks. Talks about how the bankroll is the next great thing in the pro wrestling world. He goes over the skills and the talents and what everyone who is involved can do. Ricochet is the extreme high flyer. He's a human highlight reel, doing all these crazy flips, crazy feats of strength, too. Jonathan Gresham was, like all of this, it's showing some of their highlights, and, he's the one who won the qualifier tournament with all these big stars. Former tag team champion Isaiah Cassidy. You have Ray Phoenix, who's this really big star, but Gresham got more points than all of them. But before we can get to the Acclaimed, it actually cuts to the Acclaimed, and they cut a rap about how they're the next best and up-and-coming team, and nothing can stop them, especially not old, washed-up veteran teams like the Motor City Machine Guns or the American Wolves. I am never going to write out the raps for the Acclaimed, because I can't rap. So yeah, Max Caster, Anthony Bones, they'll be going against the Motor City Machine Guns. After this, Moxley defeats Dragon Lee. John Moxley's actually been really on a downturn, just with my booking of him. He's actually only a star right now. Then Big Swole defeats Delmi Exo. And very shortly after the match, Killer Kelly slides into the ring. She whips Big Swole in the back of the leg with a metal chain. Kelly then wraps the chain around her own fist and starts punching Swole in the face, causing security to rush out. They pull Killer Kelly off of Big Swole. Medical staff attend to her. Killer Kelly, she beats down the security personnel and just walks out of the arena of her own. She flips off the security team. She flips off Big Swole. Now, I imagine the chain is still around her hand. And Killer Kelly just being a real badass and a real asshole. And then Takahashi defeats Dallas Mantello to finish our show of Dark. Worse than last week, but that's not really a surprise. But we will move on to Dynamite. Moving on to our show of Dynamite, we start off with the next round of the tag team tournament, as FTR defeats the Hybrid 2 when Dax pins Evans with a Shatter Machine. After this, Jericho is seen in the jacuzzi drinking champagne, and he says, Kirk, I thought about what you said last week, how I'm not Le Champion anymore. I'm still the demo guy, but there's something different now. I'm not a champion, and I haven't been in a while, that's true, but that doesn't mean that I'm not Le Champion. Le Champion is a mindset, an idea, a state of being, not just a recognition of having a championship. I mean, I'm more of a champion than you because I can still wrestle, so I at least have that, but, you know, maybe you have a point, Angle. Maybe I'm not Le Champion anymore. And I think I'm man enough to admit that. I'm man enough to admit that I'm not Le Champion. I am more. I'm more than Le Champion. I'm more than the greatest of all time. More than the GOAT. Trust me, Angle. You'll see what I still have left in the tank soon enough. So Jericho, he is admitting he's not Le Champion. So this is mainly just a way for me to kind of try my own hand at a Jericho character, and we'll see what that is in due time. But yeah, Chris Jericho surprisingly struggling when going off script, but still with an 83. That's just how good he is on the mic. Out of this, Priscilla Kelly defeats Awesome Kong. I had Priscilla Kelly dominate because Awesome Kong will be gone. Contracts coming up, didn't re-sign her. It's whatever. After the match, AJ Styles gets up from commentary, taking a different mic, because he was on commentary, to boast about how to the crowd how about the new additions to the Bullet Club are dominant, with Priscilla Kelly being too quick and too skilled for the past their prime Awesome Kong to have a chance. As he's about to go on another rant, as he did last week, about how good the Bullet Club is, Kenny Omega's music hits, and he walks out onto the stage and says, yeah, I'll admit it. You helped make the Bullet Club amazing, AJ, and maybe I did screw things up with the Bullet Club, sure. But you can claim time and time again that you are the sole reason that the club is as influential as ever, but we all know that that's a damn lie. And then AJ, he's probably about to talk even more when he gets cut off again by Fergal Devitt's music hitting. Devitt has a mic and he says, I'm not going to let you claim ownership over my club, AJ, over my creation. So how's about we start to settle this and have a battle of the leaders of the Bullet Club at the last Dynamite of the U. You and Carl versus me and Kenny. So yeah, we're having a lot of Bullet Club stuff going on. So we have, that'll be a huge event. Devitt, Kenny Omega versus AJ Styles. Carl Anderson's going to be the weak link. That's just a given. But you have 4 of the, at this point, 8 leaders of the Bullet Club, because Devitt founded it. Carl Anderson is kind of a leader. He's been considered a leader of it before. AJ Styles, and then Kenny Omega. We don't have Kenta, Evil, or Jay White here. They are all exclusive with New Japan. But maybe they'll get involved. We'll have to see. But the Bullet Club are really heating up. Lots of wars going on. After this, Raymus Debate is seen backstage in his street clothes when a person is tossed through a window with a note attached. Obviously, it's sugar glass or, whatever, easy to break glass. And it's just someone to have, ropes tied to them and a note is attached. And Sabay, he calls for medical assistance, he picks up the note, and it reads from Pac that he wants to face Sabay in the ring himself in a tag team match. No, don't want to have the title on the line. Don't want to have the one-on-one match so early. So the main event will be Raymus Debate versus Pac, or Raymus Debate and a partner versus Pac, and it's Dijak will be the partner. So Ramy, again, medical assistance for the person that was thrown through the window before going to find someone to team with him. 85 rating, very nice. After this, we see Taz in a pre-recorded segment backstage and says, MJF, you claim all you want that you're the strongest dude in AEW, and you can be wrong all you want for that very sake claim. The reason that we're the FTW world is because we are the strongest, toughest bastards this world has seen. Ricky Starks is gonna win that Face of the Revolution ladder match. Samoa Joe is gonna murder that peacock bastard for my title back. Jeff Cobb is the best IWGP United States champion in years. 6 defenses in just 2 months. You didn't even do that when you were world champ, huh? So you know what? I'll let you try to prove yourself. Next week, I want the Briscoes and Jeff Cobb against your punk ass and your 2 little shitty bodyguards, the North. So yeah, 6-man tag, something I need to do more often. But Briscoes, Jeff Cobb versus MJF and the North. We'll see how things go from there. After this, Sheida defeats Morgan Daniels. Then after the match, Kana's music hits, and the Empress walks onto the stage. Sheida is ready to fight Kana off, but Kana just dismisses her and says, "I'm not interested in you, Sheida. I'm interested in the idiot with the stuffed pig and her friend. I don't know who you are. I don't care who you are. What you are is someone who's irrelevant to me. I lost the title to someone talented, while you're a joke. You can try to help me out all you want. It's not going to do anything because you are nothing. Mayu at least is a legitimate wrestler, while you are an idiot masquerading as a wrestler. No, Hams." Actually, so she doesn't even know her name, so no, I won't be your friend. I don't need friends because I am the Empress. And Hams, who is tending to Morgan, Morgan got her ass kicked by Sheida. But again, respectfully, got her ass kicked by Sheida. Hams is very visibly sad. She has this vacant expression in her eyes. She helps Morgan to her feet and to walk off past Kana. Kana doesn't even bother with them. She's still staring at Sheida. She's like, "Hey, maybe I'll accept your open challenge, because this is going to be something that's recurring." She's going to have her open challenge. And Kana's thinking, maybe I should take her up on that. Ham's completely out of it, though. She walks off. Kana being a dick to poor old Ham's Katana. After this, Mayu defeats Monkey with a Dragon Suplex. Defense number 2 of the women's title. Just a solid match. Not really much more you can ask for. After this, Raymus Debate is stopped by Antonio Banks, who offers for Ricochet to team with Debate against Pac and Dijak. Banks has issues with Pac and how he conducts himself, and wants to prove that Ricochet isn't just getting the TNT title shot because he is a client of one of the financial backers of AEW. So, yeah, pretty good stuff there. Actually, give me a moment. I think I forgot to book something, or do something with the booking. Okay, so it turns out I didn't actually forget to do that. We're good. After this, we just get a hype package for the ladder match. We show highlights of all 6 people that are involved, show highlights from the qualifying matches, all that stuff. Advance the LWO storyline because Phoenix and Vikingo are involved. This is a very simple segment. After this, Proud and Powerful defeat the Jurassic Express Jungle Boy, way ahead of everyone else at an 80 rating. Very nice there. After this, we catch back up with Sting, Lee Johnson, Frederick Hurst, and Griff Garrison as they're in an attic area of the Hardy compound. Talk about how that's a good spot to sort of set up their base to begin their plans to get the Hardy compound back. Soon enough, there's a knock on the door as Top Flight get in, and they tell the group about the monster energy that they saw by the Lake of Reincarnation last week. Hurst immediately suggests that that's the way for that to get the cult to leave, by getting rid of all the drinks, whether pouring it into the lake or just dumping them out, whatever. Sting's very confused by this. He doesn't understand what the hell's going on, but he just goes along with it. The segment fades to black. We see, this is very cinematic. All of these, I'm imagining, very cinematic. You have, like, proper movie-style camera work. Like, pans back, zooms out, we see Joey Janela, Bruiser Sheridan. They're watching. They can see, like, the door is open to this attic area, and they can just see all 6 of these? Can I count? Yes, I can. All 6 of these people just there. So, how will things advance from here? We'll find out eventually. After this, Dalton Castle is in the ring with Sonny Kiss, Peter Avalon, Matthew Raybold, and a bunch of nameless extras as they host a celebration. Dalton Castle's title win a few weeks ago. Dalton, he's speaking of this as if the entirety of the dubious parts, the whole MJF interference, didn't happen. The MJF interference, him getting tossed out of the ring, none of it happened. Sonny and Peter, they just roll with it. Raybold's like, we didn't win it clean, but sure. But Dalton Castle is just whatever about it. Declares that the FTW title should now stand for the Phantasmagoria of the Troubled World title, regardless of what it actually stood for before. He is trying to be extra fancy with it, not really doing anything serious, just, this is what it stands for. It's the Phantasmagoria of the Troubled World. Look how awesome and look at what a spectacle we are. We're very elaborate with the celebration. So there's confetti, there's ribbons, there's streamers, there's all sorts of stuff. There's like regal music playing, Dalton Castle sitting on a throne. There's a bunch of again, all these extras, they're dressed up, they're making this huge occasion. They're like delivering Dalton Castle his microphone on a silver platter. They're, Matthew Raywald, he has like a proper headset for the interviews, and he's still like giving a mic to people to interview them. There's a bunch of obvious plans about, what they think about this new era of AEW, the era of grace. And they're, all these people are very excited. And you can tell they're plants because they actually like have masquerade masks on, like all of the extras that are in the ring. And then eventually one of them just decks Raywald in the face, knocks his headset off, climbs over the barricade, rushes the ring, takes out all of the extras, takes out Sonny Kiss, takes out Peter Avalon, takes down, tackles Dalton Castle. Or maybe, probably Dalton Castle, rolls out of the ring first. Joe, he stands there, he crushes the throne, and, oh yeah, it's Joe. It's pretty obvious that it's Joe. You can probably even tell from the physique initially, but eventually he just kind of takes off his very shitty disguise. And he's yelling at Castle for making a mockery of the FTW, the Fuck the World title. So yeah, big elaborate segment. I don't like that number of attendance, but whatever. After this, we get Raymus Debate and Ricochet actually defeating the champion in Dijak when Debate pins Dijak with a Blue Thunder Driver. Dijak behind by quite a bit. Pac with a 92. Very nice. That finishes our show. 7-7. Okay, so I guess we were just in a small arena. But yeah, pretty quick show. Again, just setting things up mainly for that end of the year show. And we'll see how things advance from there in the next episode.